Hey everyone, Kim here. Hope you can hear me and see me okay. Um, I decided to do this live stream, part of my Mystery Mystic series, and this is pertaining to Felicia Marie Johnson. If you've been following my Mystery Mystic series, you know that I delve into disappearance readings and I delved into Felicia's situation and disappearance. There's been some developments that have come up uh, as of late last week. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm an empath and because I'm a human being, it really hit my gut. Like I felt sick. I couldn't sleep the rest of the night. You know what I ended up having to do? So it was like Thursday night. As I was getting ready to go to bed, I started seeing all the stories come through about the suspect being caught. Like, well, they know who the suspect is, and the things now that are coming to light. You're like, oh my God. I wake up about 2 in the morning. I'm like sick to my stomach. And I had to get up, make me some ginger tea. I had to take a bath to like clean, like just get back to right. It just really hit me hard. But I just wanted to share some things with you all today. Okay, I hope you don't mind. So let me know if there's any issues with the audio or sound, or audio is the same as sound. Visuals. I'm on an island, so just have to warn you all. So I put up my sensitive trigger topics banner at the bottom because um, I do want us all to be respectful, whether you are watching with me now and you're joining me now, or you watch the replay. Just, you know, the police have indicated that she has been murdered. So, and my condolences to her family and loved ones. I'm so sorry. Um, so just be respectful, but also understand that there's going to be some stuff that comes up in this discussion that could be triggering. All right. Hello, my friend. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. So, yeah, it, it's been an intense weekend because I keep going back to like the news and Facebook groups to see what comes up. And people have been asking me, before you know what, let me pause because I do need to do the intro. But I will say this, people have been asking me to do another reading. People ask me all the time to do multiple readings on the cases we covered. I have to be careful about that because oftentimes spirit is like, no, it is not the time. Usually the appropriate time to do a subsequent reading is when there's updates or you need further clarification. But in terms of just doing readings over and over again, I'm not a fan of. I like to do what we're going to do today, which is we're going to look at the past readings I did for on Felicia's case. And I'm going to pinpoint some key cards and what I thought it meant back then versus how things are unfolding today. I do plan to do a follow up readings, just specifically looking through the lens and the eyes of the gentleman, the suspect who has been named as the one who took her life. Okay, so because he's at large, he's at large. Oh my goodness, thank you for being here. Yeah, we'll see how we feel after all, after what we go through in the next few moments as we look at the past readings, and we could throw a couple of cards, okay? But I also want to invite you all to um, submit some questions either in the chat or in the comment section. Just again, I'm looking at it through the lens more so of maybe more questions about motivation, why he's done this. I think the police are really confident this is the guy who is responsible. So why did he do this? Where is his behind at now? and what's coming up for him. So that's the type of reading I would plan to do for a subsequent reading for this case. So yeah. So without further ado, and this will allow me to take a sip of my beverage, I'm going to do the intro. Why? Because the intro also has my disclaimer. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'm going to run the intro and we'll get started. Welcome. All right. So, okay. So I'm glad you asked, Andy, about this. So, y'all know I like to take y'all on a journey. Felicia is connected to this suspect, and I'm going to share my screen in just a moment, but she's connected because apparently she posted an ad. I don't know if it was like on a, and somebody can help me out in the comment section later, but it was like, I don't know if it was like a call service, call girl service. I don't know. And he answered that. And I intuitively believe that they did have some exchanges of messages where he started to build trust with her. That's what's coming up for me. But, you know, he responded to the ad, but I still get this sense that he had been kind of hawking her, stalking her. And when she came out from Southern California, San Diego to Texas to go do work out there, she encountered this guy. We're going to get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, it's going to get wilder from here. Hey, my friend, how are you doing, Myrna? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you too being in the chat because this is a heavy one. My other friend, hello, the Oracle Throne. I appreciate you being here. All right, so let me get my little, y'all know me. I like to share screens and whatnot. Okay. Is it going to let me do it? All right, so you all know I did 3 videos that were readings, and then one where I did like a map analysis with my, using my intuition, and later the cards to see what we were picking up on with regards to where key evidence may be or where she may be at or what is going on with this case. So there she is. It really hit me hard because I have a 24-year-old and his dad lives in Houston, and my son, actually, they were probably within months of each other, Felicia and him, because my son was just out there. He was staying with his dad for a little while and moved out in April to go live in Atlanta. So I get choked up because this is literally someone's child, and it's just awful. It's just, yeah. All right. So let me first, actually, I want to go through the cards, but I want to first show you the news information. So let me stop sharing for a moment because I want to show you all some things here. In one of those readings that I did, I picked up on the Page of Cups, and I'll show you all that card in a minute. I also assign alphabets, the letters, to the cards, to the suits, to the numbers or whatever. And so the Page of Cups pages represents U and V. So I said here in a comment a month ago, or it looks like it says 1 month ago, the pages represent the letters U and V. This person has these letters in their name, lives on a street with these letters, or associates with an organization or family with these letters. The gentleman who is responsible or named a suspect, a prime suspect, he has like 3 U's in his name. Here he is. Here he is. It says here he is on the run. She's been missing since April 16th, and he's the suspect. His name, and I'm going to butcher it, I know. And from here on out, after I try to say his name, we're just going to call him Chuck because it's a lot. No offense to anybody else who has his name, you know. Chukwuebuka Nwabodo. You see what I'm saying? It's a mouthful. His first name has 3 U's in it. Now, I kept getting hung up on the letter V as in Victor because I kept remembering about the Duvari brothers, the little family that owns the nightclub where she had went and where people thought who was ultimately responsible for her disappearance. Yeah. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Let's see. Very heavy. Yes. So I have some additional thoughts based on the new developments, and I'm glad you're here, Tiff, because yes, I understand. You're highly intuitive too. I mean, I suppose we all are intuitive, right? But there's some of us who this is where we dwell with our intuitive abilities. So you know, I like doing map reviews. I hope you guys can see this. So one of the earlier readings I did for Felicia, this valley card jump. And I wish there was a way I could zoom in. Bear Creek Pioneers Park. I guess there is a way I could zoom in. If you look at the line of this little creek or river or whatever it is, this creek, waterways, it looks just like this. And I remember saying that there was critical information or something happened there. This gentleman, according to the police in the news articles I'm going to share, was Googling deeply forested areas in Houston. He bought a power saw, electric saw, like demented. Anyways, so in the Google map, Cover Girls is up here. Bear Creek Pioneers Park is here, and where police say that she ultimately passed, where he took her life, I guess I should say allegedly, where he took her life was here. She was staying at the Intercontinental Houston Medical Center, which is a hotel. They just happen to have medical center in their name. And so, yeah. So I want to now go back to the cards. And then and I want to show you something. So this card came up in one of the early readings I did. And I said this person was responsible. Who does he look like? Okay, you see it there, brown eyes, this card, lawyer, feeling protected above the law. Now I see. Oh, even just the focus in this card of on the eye, and the guy Chuck kind of has like a slight lazy eye. Let me show you his picture though. Look at him. I'm gonna stop sharing. You see him? Yeah, my heart dropped too. And then it was another round of feeling very like sick to my stomach. But pretty strong resolve when it comes to these things. But this really bothered me. It really bothered me. The moment I heard she was a Californian, I'm partial because I'm from there, and so I always. She's like she's literally like my son's age. He's two like what he was born February, same year as her, 24. She was celebrating her birthday in April, and so he was looking up. I'm going to show you the articles in a minute of what the police found. Okay. He was looking up Google, all the kind of Google searches he was doing. For example, he wanted to get away. He was looking at places in the world that you could live off of for $1,000 or less. Yeah. Right. I thank you. I'm not, it's heavy. It's really heavy. And it's like, I'm not going to rush and do this reading either, Tip. I'm just not. Feels really dark. And we're going to talk about that because that came up early in one of the readings I did. It felt dark then, and it really feels dark now. The evidence police found confirmed it also. So I'm just watching all you guys on this one. So, Tiff, I don't know. Did you do the Alexis Ware? I didn't. I sat the Alexis Ware case out. I was the same. I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to be in solidarity as one of the readers and watch, and support. But yeah, and I'm afraid because the last time I went into, once they played, okay, Alexis gave, I tapped into the energy surrounding the suspect or the man accused of taking her life. And then I was able to see that he was planning to take his life, and it was something he always threatened. And that came up in multiple readings that I did. So, yeah, it's not going to be a walk in the park. But this guy is at large, and he was like, allegedly he was Googling stuff about how to be a serial killer. Like he got to get up off the out of the streets. Like he is dangerous. No telling how many other people he's done this to. It's a hot mess. And my heart breaks for her family, her dad. What? Just what? Yeah. People are speculating, Myrna. People are speculating that maybe either this could have been his first and he was about to be on a roll, or maybe that's the other thing. This is also a trigger warning moment. Alleged, I guess he got pulled over last month, and I don't know if it was in connection to investigating Felicia's disappearance or not. They said a traffic stop in the news article. He got pulled over, and they eventually let him go. I think they held him. They took him down to the station, held him, seized his phone. I didn't know you could just seize people's phones, but they seized his phone. Maybe they had probable cause. I don't know. And on there, they saw an image of a woman who was dismembered and pictures of other people who were deceased. I think they said 3 other people. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's right. So, and then is that, Tiff, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the same person who didn't go through pursuing charges? Because in late 2020, there was someone that he was accused of assault, and she didn't pursue charges. I don't know why, but maybe it's stressful to go through something like that with maybe because it looks like he's got a big family out there. He's Nigerian, and I don't know. So, okay. Yes, this all broke this weekend, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share my screen again because before I share it, let me get the article up. Okay, so another thing I wanted to share with you all before I get the article up. I know I'm all over the place. It's just weighing on my mind, and I wanted to wait as long as it's possible to see if any other new developments come out before I came here to y'all and chatted with you about it. But Monday is nice because this is when I do my Mystery Mystic series. So this is what we're doing. So the Page of Cups speaks to a young person or someone who is immature who may have had a crush or a longing for Felicia. So this is, y'all know I love to write, I love maps, I love readings. So I combine all that together and y'all just get a whole like of me putting all this stuff in my description box and in my pinned comment on the video. This is one of the comments. He has made romantic propositions to her in the 11 days preceding her disappearance. Page of Cups for me is tied to number 11. The pages represent the letters U and V. This person has these letters and the name, and I've mentioned that to you all before. So I imagine that the police were able to see that they had some exchanges in those days preceding her going from California to Texas. Okay. Let me see what I want to share with y'all first. Okay. I already talked to you about the case in 2020 that was dismissed. Okay. This is important though. Using that information from Uber, they obtained leads such as Chuck's phone number and email address. So people are saying that he was an Uber driver. If you all were following the case earlier, maybe you don't know. So after she interviewed at CoverGirl's Gentlemen's Club to be a dancer, right? And it didn't happen, I guess. So she's waiting for an Uber. It's early in the morning, like 1 or 2 in the morning, and she's waiting for an Uber. Allegedly, Uber driver, arranged for her to be picked up from the CoverGirl's place, taken to his old apartment that he lived on one spot, and then from there drove, or maybe she went to her hotel, then to this his old apartment, then, and I'm assuming either he picked her up, I don't know if she took another Uber, I don't know, but then went to his current apartment or vice versa. 2 apartments in his name. Now, I've had overlapping apartments. I like to, when I was moving out, I like to get a new spot, right? You like get my spot and have the dates overlap so I could take my time moving out the stuff and cleaning up the old apartment. So some people speculated that's why he has 2 apartments in his name, but it's really disturbing. Chuck, really disturbing. I'm speaking to you and your family. You need to do the right thing. Okay, so let me see if there's anything from here. Okay, her family in California told police they had heard from Johnson on April 15th. On April 16th, they asked a friend in Houston to search Johnson, Felicia, based on the last location they pinged on her cell phone, who ended up finding it covered in blood at Bear Creek Park. Charging documents, he's officially charged for her murder and for tampering with evidence, I believe. Charging documents state she and Chuck were communicating on Snapchat, and her messages showed they agreed to meet for $500. His bank records show that he withdrew money from his Wells Fargo account on April 16th. in that amount. Can you withdraw odd numbers like that? I didn't know that. I remember back when I banked at Wells Fargo, it was only in like increments of like 200, 400. You know what I mean? Like not odd, but maybe it's changed. Maybe you can just doop, doop, doop. And now I'm working with pesos, so I'm really out of the loop. So let me see. Records show that on the 16th and 17th, Chuck bought several supplies from Walmart and Home Depot, including a flashlight, shirt, gloves, saws, trash bags, and towels. In the charging document, Sergeant B.A. Roberts wrote, Chuck made multiple online searches after April 16, 2022, relative to cleaning DNA evidence, deleting digital information, missing persons investigations, and how to get away with murder. On May 13th, Houston Police Department conducted a search warrant and arrested Chuck after they said they found blood. Oh, so they did arrest. Okay, so they did arrest him in connection to Felicia's disappearance, after they said that they found blood, weapons, receipts, and supplies in the suspect's car. They also found Johnson's DNA and blood in his apartment. The local station, their news station, is KHOU. So I like to typically get my information from the news sources myself, you know, before I start following like different YouTubers and I'm not talking about my psychic peeps. I'm talking about like people who are following the case. I'm very selective about where I get my news information. First the news, then a credible like other source. Just saying. So let me see. Oh, it's probably, I hope they don't play that video. Let me stop sharing for a moment. It's just so heartbreaking. It just really is. He arranged an Uber trip to have her picked up. Thank you for being here and being able to help me to like, because this is a lot I'm trying to convey to you all. And then we haven't even dealt with the cards yet. All over the weekend is coming public. And now they're asking appealing to the public to come with more information. Now, some people were, in myself included, I found it interesting that what came up was about the club's not so stellar background, like the people who run it. And so that came to tell about like, oh, look at the cover girls. It's like a hot mess. It is not cool. And so that came about. And perhaps he does go to the club. And maybe what all the readers were picking up on was all of that kicking up, all of this kicking up in this story. It's just, but he came up early in my reading, Chuck. And I remember like, he kind of looks like this. I remember saying it and I was like, what if he's like totally light skinned or some like Caucasian or something? And I'm like, and we can't rule all of it out. I believe he had help. I believe he has help in escaping. Like people know, like he's left. Like I just can't imagine no one doesn't. And to what level of involvement, that's going to be the question. So crazy, absolutely crazy. So he picked her up from the old apartment to take her to, or maybe it's the old, no, he did the thing at the old apartment. I don't know. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. All right, let me get back to sharing my screen. So I have more to share. I was going to share the news article, but I wanted to get it set up first. Is that him? Why can't I get this? Oh, that is it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties or user error. This isn't it. Oh, yeah. Hold on while I get this up. Why is this not pulling it up? There we No, I don't like that one. Yeah, bear with me. Okay, share. Now we can share a screen. I promise you, I assure you, I'm a lot more with it. Okay, so here's one of the reliable news sources. Man now charged with murder in Felicia Johnson case was released from custody after her death, documents say. Just again, can I highlight the fact that this man has 3 U's in his name? He was in custody about a month ago, but was released. Why was he released? Not enough evidence or what? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Maybe somebody can help me understand. Um, a man charged with murder in connection with the disappearance of a 24-year-old woman searched for multiple ways to destroy evidence and get away with the crime, court documents say. He faces 2 felony charges in the disappearance of Felicia Johnson. Chuck is charged with murder and tampering, fabricating physical evidence, according to the documents, and he is not in custody. Documents obtained by KHOU 11 News showed Nuovo made multiple searches for ways to destroy evidence. There were also searches of possibly how to dispose of a body and if police can check phone records of a dead person. The birds. Johnson was reported missing on April 16th. Her father believes she disappeared after interviewing for a job at an adult entertainment club on Houston's northwest side. What happened? But police said an investigation revealed Johnson left a hotel in Houston's medical center in the early morning hours of April 16th. According to the documents, Chuck ordered the Uber ride for Johnson after she posted an advertisement on an escort website. Oh my God. Like, it does feel like maybe he has a history. Oh my God. Okay, Chuck then picked Johnson up at an apartment complex in the 3200 block of Windchase Boulevard, which is the address of an apartment from which he recently moved. Okay, there we go. Oh. Police said Chuck then took Johnson to his current residence on South Richmond Avenue and killed her before disposing of her phone. Police said it was believed Chuck disposed of Johnson's body a few days after the murder. Documents say Chuck received Documents say Chuck received treatment on his right hand at a local clinic in the morning on April 16th, claiming he cut himself when opening boxes. New details. Chuck is seen on surveillance footage with a bandage wrap on his right hand while at Walmart purchasing trash bags, a flashlight. We talked about that, but that was on April 16th and 17th. And it sounds like he purchased 2 mechanical saws from Walmart and Home Depot. She has not been recovered yet. They found DNA evidence that is a strong match to hers. On April 20th, investigators say internet searches connected Chuck's email account shows that when they checked, he looked up if bleach or vinegar could destroy DNA. On April 21st, the same account conducted another search for the most forested part of Houston. Several days later, on April 27th, Nuoboto's, I tried to say it, account searched how to delete your history completely. The next day, documents say the account searched for multiple ways on how to get away with murder, and Chuck also looked up 15 cheapest places to live in the world, $1,000 per month. On May 3rd, Chuck's account searched if police could check the phone records of a missing person and if police can unlock a phone during an investigation, according to the documents. Those searches came days after Johnson's bloody phone was found in Bear Creek Park. On May 13th, Chuck was taken into custody during a traffic stop. Chuck was not charged after the traffic stop. He was released, but a cell phone in his front pocket was seized. Documents say the cell phone contained a photograph of a dismembered female in addition to 3 photos of deceased individuals. The individuals in the photos were not identified and no metadata was associated with them. All right. Let me just touch base and see how y'all doing. True incompetence. The release is what ran me hot. Unbelievable. I know. I'm like, I'm not understanding. If you had all this information, what? Like maybe the only thing I can think of, maybe they were hoping that they let him go and see where he goes, see if he goes back to where maybe he has put her. But that's, I don't know. I feel that this guy did this for some type of monetary gain. Glad you mentioned that because I'm going to talk to you about that. Wind is howling. Let me go back up here. So let me share this again with you all. Now we're going to get into these here cards. And, you know, if there's any questions that you want me to pose during the follow-up reading, for this case, put it in the chat or in the comment section below. I'm just bringing everybody up to speed because it's a lot and it all happened. All this came out over the weekend. So, yeah. Let's see what is going on. There we go. So I did the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle reading like I do. I like to do an opening, if you will. And we got rat, umbrella, shield, and pitchfork. I watch a few other readers and intuitives, mediums who do readings, some, you know, same genre, if you will, that we're doing here. And like, for example, Indigo Key Oracle had also used the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, and the Shield card, I believe, came out there a couple of times. The Shield card came out here, you know. Then we got Pitchfork. So I like to sometimes, before I go and dive into a new reading, I watch the video again that I did. Not all the time, but sometimes. In this case, I have started rewatching them. I look at the images that I took cards and just see if information is there, but I just didn't understand it when I did the reading a month or 2 ago, and now I have a new understanding. I like to do that now versus just keep doing a bunch of readings on it. I will do reading in the beginning where I break it down into like more easily editable versions, like 3-part series or a 2-part. Sometimes I try to fit all of it into one video, but oftentimes I can't because I'm doing opening oracle readings, tarot and oracle readings. I'm doing all this. But once I'm done with the initial like sitting of it, sitting with the person who's disappeared, like I sit and look at their picture, I gaze, I meditate, I tap in, remote viewing, things of that nature. Once I'm done, then I'm done and I give it a rest. So I don't take lightly to coming back and doing cases after that initial run. But now it's just like he or someone closer is definitely coming up with this rat card. Hold on, let me grab my little sheet. Rat. Here, sexual fantasies. Oh, no. Sorry, that's Snake. That's like interesting. Rat is a traitor or a trustworthy person. Disease. Next cards I want to show you. It says here, strange phenomenon involved. Number 2, killer profile indicates narcissist or sociopath. Number 3, killer may currently be in prison for another crime. And now, it's coming to out that he has a history of similar type of crimes, like, and no telling what he's done, or maybe fantasize about doing. And the last card is forensic science. The forensic science field will provide important clues. So these were the cards that jumped with the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle reading that I did. So here's the initial reading that I did. And we have that money card. It's kind of hard to see. It's this like maroon color looking card. Cell phone. Y'all. The serial killer card came up. Computer. Oh my God. Six of Swords. Movement. Transition. Taking someone from one place to another. Moving. Traveling. We'll get to that in a moment. Ace of Pentacles. Colorless angel. Then over here, I think I asked, I might even have the questions. I asked about who was responsible or who knows. Let me see if I can find them. Try to keep them all in one place. Number 2, who or what is responsible for her disappearance? I think this says dark hair color, brown eyes. Every time he stares at me, I feel uncomfortable now. I will never look at this card. And I created this deck. I'll never look at this card the same again. Let me stop sharing for a moment, touch base with you guys. How are you hanging in there? I prayed the parts of her body might be found so her family will at least have the peace of laying her to rest. Exactly. For her family. Like the trauma of it all. I just can't even imagine. Isn't it trippy, Andy? Like, I'm not, I never claim to be like the supreme being and like all knowing psych or reader. I'm quite humble about it because it is a gift. And I sense that we all to some degree are, can tap into. In my intro, I'm very intentional about that intro where I say, we're doing this together. We're tapping into the universal flow, our higher selves know, right? We all know. Like I've seen where people will chime in a Facebook group about something. Their intuition tells them that. The inner wisdom tells them that. So, yeah, it's all there in the reading. Let me see. It's just really heartbreaking. You don't know what to expect with these cases going in. I think there was a part of me that was like hoping, and this sounds terrible, but it was hoping that, maybe she was trafficked and they were going to find her. And that was a part of me that really hopes. And that's what I was trying to say. I don't know it all because I'm a human being. I have compassion. I have feelings. I have desires and hopes and prayers for the person I'm doing the reading for. But I try to be as objective as possible with what I'm seeing and interpreting in the cards messages. I really do. I take it very seriously. Okay. And sometimes I do readings that go against what other people are saying and picking up on. But I don't think that's by chance or accident either. We're all picking up on different things. So then I asked, I'm so glad I found the question. Where is it? Where are many clues? That's this section over here with the lake, valley, dark hair color, con man, grounding, and fire. Fire. And it has evidence at the edge of this card. Interestingly enough, the Indigo Key Oracle and Tantalus Oracle, because I watched her reading this weekend, and fire, the energy of fire came up there, and Indigo Keys Oracle reading. And in this reading, tampering with evidence, destroying evidence, burning evidence, I just hope they can find her and find him ASAP. Let me see if I can get to what that question is. Oh, but the where is the major clues or where is she? Well, the phone was found just outside of that Bear Creek Pioneers Park or whatever. But interestingly enough, that Valley card that came up looks very much similar to the little Google map on the cell phone map, where you see the blue line of the waterway. It's quite interesting to me. This says, now this is interesting. Witnesses may hear or may fear, I'm sorry, it's hard to read. Witnesses may fear coming forward with valuable information. We saw that with some of the witnesses who were at the club who were pinpointing whether she was there or not. Now we're getting a better understanding why they may have been fearful, but it was maybe not really related to her. I don't know. That remains to be seen. There's also witnesses who are fearful of coming forward for him and his sake. People know what he's done close to him, and they are hiding him. That is what I intuitively pick up on. FBI is involved. Hired help. Oh, hired help is sitting between there. So hired help is speaking to what? You tell me. No. Hired help could be someone who's helping him, or he helping someone else. The monetary thing, the monetary exchange. We saw that the very first card that kicked off, money is involved. But I think Felicia is a smart young lady, and I think that he must have come across as someone that she could trust, I don't know. And then we got, is that paperwork? Yes, paperwork. FBI, CIA card is next to the paperwork card. And then we got Justice and Two of Cups. Those are favorable cards. That means that we're going to find out what happens. There will be some form of justice rendered. I always caution people, though, sometimes justice doesn't look like what we expect or hope it to look like, but it is justice. So we've got those cards. I'm going to touch base, see how you all are doing. Okay. Okay. You guys are all right. All right. So sharing a little bit more, and then I'm just going to look at some questions that we may have. I'm going to write them down. Maybe throw a card or two to see if anything comes up, and then we'll get out of here. Yeah, I got rejection triggering his ego. Yep, I did too in that early. And I think I talked mess to him in that read. I was kind of like, he didn't take it very well. And I mean, look at him. So he didn't take it very well. And he was toggling from the Emperor to Swords. Yeah. Oh. It's like I sense, Tiff, that he has this thing about this air about him, and that's what I kept picking up on energetically surrounding this guy, that his stuff don't stink, or that he really feels protected, or that he feels like he's well within his right. Maybe that's that sociopath narcissist vibe. I don't know. Or maybe his family is more connected than we realize or that we understand at this point. I don't know, but he felt like, how dare you? And then enraged. Like, but sir, you're no prize. No prize. All right, so I saw your message. Yes. He is no prize. And yeah, I think that was something that came through strong as well. Over here, these are kind of harder to see because they are smaller cards, but maybe I can zoom in. We'll see. But we got truck, rescued, save, van, mountains. So over here in this little section, transport, rescued her, so to speak, got her Ubers together. She probably may have even thought that was a kind gesture. mountains. Someone had mentioned in one of the Facebook groups that, those sounds of the saw is really loud in an apartment. So he must have been out in some remote area where it wouldn't be, people wouldn't go running to go look to and investigate and see what was going on. Over here, we got female victim, SA, R word, rape, non-consensual, the death card, stabbed, sharp weapon. Oh my God. Devil in disguise, trickster, manipulation, hiding in the shadows, held captive, hiding, locked. Is it locked down? Hidden? Over here, planned, betrayal, smoker, wandering alone. Interesting. Wandering alone, dark, acting. But then, it was throwing me off. Betrayal over the large group card. So over here under planned is algae, swamp, and reeds. Under the betrayal card is large group. Large family? Bigger than we know? I don't know. Rubbish, landfill, dumpster. Internet, messaging, social media. January. Stalker. That's why I thought like somebody may have been following her, like watching her online. Walking, stalking, watching, waiting. That's the word. I kept saying waiting. Whistleblower, coming forward, truth revealed, hours. This happened over the course of hours. City, urban, crowds, north, 0 to 15 kilometers. River Creek, which ties back into that other reading I did. Lust, affair, temptation, infidelity, and I can't see the last one. Tied up, bound, intoxicated, drinking, drunk, alcohol, and spring. We are in the season of spring still, even though it's hot as hell outside, but we are. Could he have drugged her? Was she intoxicated or inebriated? Was he like that? Was that what egg like in? I don't know. So yeah, I'm looking at these different things, trying to pick up if I see anything else. Some cards just kept coming up over and over again. The SA, rape card, non-consensual card. Wanted to show you all this though, and then I'll stop sharing the screen. Rescued, help, retrieve, saved. This card with the little life preserver next to overseas and local or global travel. I imagine he has his passport, and since he was looking up and Googling, trying to get up out of the United States, I'm imagining 15 places in the world to live under $1,000 a month. Going to a hot, dry desert place. I mean, I don't know. That's why I was like, I'm kind of curious to do a reading from his vantage point, and I'm not looking forward to it. But I am curious enough to do it, but I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of, I'm going to have to bust out the protection spells and some sprays and it's serious intentional work. I don't know. It bothers me. Held captive, hiding, lockdown, hidden came up again as well. I thought when the 1,000+ kilometers card came up, I thought it was talking about her traveling from California to Houston, but now I'm realizing, no, it's him plotting to get up here. Now, I would imagine that, if he was trying to, unless he got another identification, unless he's like, he's in disguise. What do you call that? In disguise or whatever. And he's impersonating someone else. That could be how he could slip up out of here. But if he's using his name and his passport, they should be able to track where he went out of the country. I don't know. Like, is he still in the country? Where is he? So the Page of Cups that I was talking to you all earlier was in this reading. This is do the reading. Just looking at anything here. Who or what is behind her disappearance? Page of Cups, Seven of Cups. Okay. Sorry, guys. Just looking to see what else I asked. Okay. Cards in the first part of this part 3 reading are saying she traveled to do the dance or this type of work. This is just my notes that I pinned. I asked Spirit for clarification on where Felicia is or where she was taken. We got north and 0 to 15 kilometer cards. Okay. I recall her dad saying the phone was found off Eldridge Highway. When I searched Google Maps, I realized that North Eldridge Highway is north of the Cover Girls Club, 4 to 5 miles drive away, which is within 0 to 15 kilometers. There could be vital evidence in this park that is waiting to be discovered. The other issue is the discarding of evidence in trash bins, dumpsters. Now that evidence may have been taken to a landfill or the person responsible has taken important evidence to a nearby landfill. Okay. Wow. And there we are back again with Bear Creek Pioneers Park in the Valley card. Because he didn't live far from there. Like, he literally didn't. Here's Bear Creek. And this is where the officers say that it happened to Felicia. It's here. So that's what I'm sensing here. I don't feel any different energetically, intuitively about that. Yeah. All right. Let me stop sharing. Let me check in with you all and see how you all are doing. And yep, a total disdain for women. Yep, like they are beneath them. That is the vibe I got. And it was like, sir, you are not a prize. I don't care if you're a prize or not. The energy I was picking up from him, it antagonized me as a woman. Like, I just didn't really care for him. And that's why I'm like, every time I'm looking at him, I'm like, I might have to get I might have to make a whole new brown eyes card and insert it and take this one out. It bothered me that much. I normally use Defining Characteristics Oracle, this one. I normally use it for like love readings when people are wanting to know who, get some clues on who their next love is or something like that. That's the type of readings. So I started incorporating it into these disappearance type readings. And so, yeah. Yet, wonder if his family is refusing to hide him at this time. Yeah, I would hope that police are seeing on his family to figure out, were you hiding him? Are you not? Did you turn your back on him? And that's why he knew that, and he needed to get up out of the country, and he needed to go to a place where he only has to pay $1,000 or less to live in the world. Is that why? I definitely picked up on stalker in my private preliminary meeting very strongly. I think it's called obsession. Yeah, that came through strong. And I sensed it myself strongly. So he has likely flown out. Wow, that came up. And at first, I thought it was representing her flying from California or a promise to pay for a flight for her, something to that effect. I had no clue it was him. So, again, when I'm picking up on these intuitive hits, I don't know everything. I'm just kind of, like saying, like going on a stream of consciousness and saying stuff out loud and just, yeah, I don't know. But then now I go back and I look, oh, that's what you meant. I love for you to do that from his perspective, but my goodness, that energy, do protect yourself. I can hug you, right? Like that energy. It's very dark, and I am a little hesitant. So, and I don't know, like if there's a total disregard for humans and humanity with this one. And I remember distinctly saying that this man was sadistic in that earlier reading that I did with this one. Hey, Tanya Riley. Thank you for joining. We're just sharing, talking about the case up until this point, what all has developed. And then I was showing and telling some of the cards that came up in the prior readings. And I'm inviting or just seeing how people feel about me doing another reading about from his perspective. And then if anyone had any questions that you want me to pose to the reading, I'll do it. I won't make it super long. I'll try not to. And it may take me a day or two because I have to ease my way into this one. I'm gonna have to, and I might have to double check with the ancestors if this is a good idea. But just really, I want him in custody, and I want him off the streets, and I want him to pay for what he's done, and hopefully, be pressed hard to reveal where she's at, and to know if he's done this before. I don't know. I have all these questions, but when I sit down to write the questions, that's why I'm hoping y'all give me the questions. I'm gonna forget because it's overwhelming. It's like overwhelming. So yeah, it's quite heavy. And I'm really sorry because I don't know. It's just awful. Just awful. And I can't even imagine the horror that she experienced, that her family's experiencing. Is just terrible. I'm sure it would be a really interesting reading, but you should definitely be careful. See, yeah, like if I'm not, I'll tell y'all what, like y'all might see a community tab post a couple of days like, okay, I tried and I got a no and I'm not going to. So you may very well see that. However, if I, can feel my way through, meditate on it and get a yay or nay, and maybe just be kind of careful and kind of how deep I go. And maybe a different vantage point, maybe a vantage point, not so much looking at it from him. Ooh, I gotta chill. Or maybe it's just me looking like third person at him. Just I'm a writer, so I think about point of view a lot. So same thing with readings. Maybe approach it that way, but if I get a no, I'll no. I'll have to watch the live back and see what I miss. Oh, I appreciate you doing that. I know scumbag, but yeah, it doesn't even cover it, but just need to put it out there. He is definitely that, and then some. And to think, like, there's rumors that he was like, I don't know if he's part of the search parties, but maybe watching the family and the community, searching, and he's doing all these Google searches and trying to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. And the fact that law enforcement had him, I'm like, I don't know. They must have their reasons, and I just don't understand. I'm a mere lay person, so I don't know. So yeah, I'll be doing well. I'll say there's a good 75% chance in the next day or two I'll explore it. But perhaps knew that he has been caught and apprehended and taken into custody and all of that. And don't have, and that's fine. I guess the questions could be really simple. Like, is he's, what are the energies surrounding whether or not he's in the States? I have a deck that can give us clues on that. I don't really want to know necessarily why he did it. I mean, I suppose there's some importance to that, and maybe just further confirmation that he did it. The police seem to think so, and there's DNA evidence. So I don't know if we even really need to hash it out. I think this is more so, where is he at? And is there a chance that he's going to be apprehended? Any important clues on where he may be at? Maybe along those lines for me. Because I kind of understand why he did what he did. And I understood that back when I did the readings earlier. So yeah, anything you want to say? This is very heavy, and I don't know, like, I just don't know, like, how people could be so evil. Like, and I always, there's, just really, sick individuals, but this feels very evil. Yeah, let me see. So no, he has not been arrested. He's at large. And that's why I'm like, oh no, he got to go. He got to be found, and quickly. So, well, he was in Houston, Texas, but he's I don't know if he was born in the United States or if he just lived there. It sounds like he at least lived in the United States, in the Texas area or Houston area, for since he was a kid. But I don't know if he has like dual citizenship. His family is from Nigeria. Yes, definitely watch back. And then if you have anything you want to like explore, you can put in the comment section, but I think I'm just going to keep the questions kind of simple and just trying to, if I do it, like I said, I haven't even had a real chance to sit with myself to see if this is something to do. I did with Alexis Gabe, the gentleman who ended up taking his own life. I sat with that for a while, and decided to do that reading, and we're fine, But this guy is different. This is different. Yeah, thank you, Oracle Throne. I agree. I think a reading on where he's at. Where he's at. Where's his location? Keeping it simple. I'm on pen. Don't fail me now. Oh, there we go. Felicia. Where is Chuck? Location. Because I don't really need to go into the bowels of his mind. I do not. That's worrying that such a dangerous person is at large in the world. Right, in the world. Like, he could just stay wherever he's at. Don't come over here. Don't come down here. Just, at large. It's worrying that he was Googling type of things, and he probably has a passport, and he could probably just and go. And if he has citizenship, U.S. citizenship, it kind of gives you this kind of, when you're traveling internationally, it kind of gives you this little bump up where they don't really question things. And if he's not in the system yet as like a fugitive or something, like, I suspect that he'd be able to kind of slip and move with his own name in and out with no problem, in and out of different countries. And I don't know how deep his pockets go, but it's really concerning. Let's see. Does she know this person? Yes. So did she know? That's a good one. Person. To what degree, right? Like, how long to agree and how long? Because this is interesting. That's an interesting one. Thanks for doing this. Oh, you're welcome. I'm thinking any further reading should be about this location and apprehension. After watching Indigo's reading, I was like, hell no. You're like, hell no, 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 right? I watched her readings too, and there was like this like otherworldly like feedback that almost like I could hear something coming through, and I was like, oh God. So yeah, let me know if you look into it too. Do we know if he's linked to any other crimes? Could there be more victims of his? Wow. Yeah, is he linked? And I don't know if you're asking me just generally, or is this one of the questions for the reading? But I'm curious. Is he linked to any other crimes? Could there be more victims? Oh, wow. But I like your point of views. You see the point of view versus like him and, oh, God. I'm seeing that's highly likely. And I think so. I think that it's going to come out. Like if there is one woman who, and maybe it was escalating though, because he did an essay on one woman in November 2020 or 20, was it 20? Yeah, 2020 or 2021. I don't know. And maybe this was an escalation of that kind of activity. Kayana, she definitely knew him from Snapchat. Oh, but I'm wondering if there was a previous connection also. And see, that's what I was wondering too, Tiff. I feel like either he made, like, here's the thing. Let me go back. I'm not a stripper and no judgment at all, at all. So, but, and I don't know that life very well, but I do know that Houston, one of those spots, Houston and Atlanta, for beautiful, voluptuous, or beautiful Black women to go and be on the pole. And that's, it's just known. Like I've had friends, guy friends, girlfriends who have traveled from California to Texas, you know, to celebrate. And they go to strip clubs and they're like known. So I'd imagine like, maybe she kind of made it known. I just feel like there's a connection within those 11 days preceding them connecting. The ad, maybe she put the ad, maybe he frequents it, maybe, I don't know how big or large this circle is in Houston. I don't know. But it just is interesting to me. It just doesn't feel happenstance. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, oh, it was just serendipitous that they came together. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Previous connection with two. I think that a better question. Where is he getting $1,000 a month, and how is he going to access it? That leads to that family connection. Good question. All of these are great questions, by the way. You're helping me with this reading in a very helpful way. And then when you all watch the video later and then you start, you know, picking up on different things that I missed or that you intuitively are picking up on, maybe a different perspective, that helps too. Number 5, where is he? I should just screenshot these, but I don't know, I like writing them down. Where is he getting 1,000 a month? And how is he going to access it? And that speaks to, does anyone like, who else knows about this? It's close to him. Like, is his sisters like horrified? Like, I'm just so curious. I don't know if I'm gonna be all up in their business in this reading, like in their psyche, but like your brother, like what the hell? Like, did you not know that he was this away? Did you know? I couldn't even get through the second one of Indigos. I was not energetically cleared, and I'm sorry, I was answering questions, not realizing they were suggested for the next reading. Oh no, thank you for answering the questions. But yeah, I'm writing them down, and I'll like letter them out if like they're already pretty much answered in the news or answered like you answered them, and just stick to what remains. If I do a reading, I'm leaning more so to doing one, but when I heard of these previous charges, escalated is the word that came to mind. Yep, that's what I was thinking too. He's escalating. Yeah, I definitely value your views for sure. For sure. So, yeah, you all like, I don't know. This is really heavy. And there's still so many missing, like, there's still so many little parts that aren't clear. And it's okay. We may not know that or need to know that. That's for it to come out and come out later. But it's just, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there you have it. I am not you all much longer. I was going to throw cards, but I'm like, first of all, the deck that I would use, I think, is tucked. I've got decks everywhere. But not crime ones. So I don't know. We'll see if anything comes up, and then we'll just wrap it up. Because if I'm going to do another reading, if I'm going to do another reading, I got father and trauma. Father and trauma. Then I'm not going to keep you all here because I would have already kept you forever. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Thank you. Look, cell phone again. I don't normally, cell phone. They probably can track his, they probably could track where he's going or searches and stuff. I just cannot imagine that they don't have a good idea where he may be. So, yeah, I think, and I did. So, the father card, who? Oh, it was Tantula's Oracle. I was watching. She did two readings, like a part one and part two for Felicia this weekend. And the Emperor kept coming up. The father card kept coming up. And so at first I was like, is it the father connection? Are we intuitively picking up on something with that? Or is it something more of a figurehead? The emperor, someone, an authoritative figure who's kind of really doing this. I don't know. But yeah, the father card came up. I just think that, generally speaking, I think that perhaps her father, knew the type of work she was doing, and they're probably, when you lose a child, I lost a baby, like like an infant. I did not lose a 24-year-old. But when you lose a child, even if you didn't really do anything, the guilt, I don't know, it's really heavy, crippling. Even if you didn't do anything per se, even if it's not really in your control. And so, it's really sad. It's just really sad for us, the people who care and love her. Yeah. I mean, and that could be the money thing too, like it can, she's super beautiful. You could see how perhaps, she could draw in a lot of money because she's gorgeous. She could be in that life and it could be alluring. But at the end, ladies, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not. It's just not worth it. Yeah, when the first started, and yeah, when the first got pimp vibes for sure, and when I repeated asked her father, it was definitely yes. And I can somebody let me know? Does she have a boyfriend? I think there was this mention of a boyfriend, and maybe he was actually a pimp or some. It just felt so sad to me. Like, if that's what all was going on, and I don't know for sure, I don't know one way or the other, but she's so, I just wish it could have been different, but here we are. It's not different. It is what it is. Maybe I can look at it from his perspective in a reading. Interesting. Yes. Yes. I would be there for it. I would be there for it. Look, out of town. Who's out of town? I would be very curious to see what comes up from father's perspective with your reading. It's just sometimes, that point of view shift and see from their perspective is an interesting in the card. So, or if you're not a, card reader, or if you're using different, gifts, not just cards. Not everybody do, when they do readings are using a deck. But it's just interesting. Just interesting. Out of town. Uh-oh. Mental jail. Who's in the mental jail? And lawyer. I went through all sorts of feels on the lawyer card when I did that reading and videos. These fell to the floor. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like, what is happening in that case? Like, and I think a lot of people did, to be honest. But we got mental health. Mental health. A lot of people got those vibes too. I would just hate to be wrong, and her father's like all grieving and everything, and that would just be terrifying. Like for me to be like, but I also want whatever the truth is to come out, whatever that is, because ultimately it's about justice for her. But honestly, I just feel like somebody may have linked her with this guy, or he just found like. He just knew. It just seems weird that he would just know about her. And I don't know. That part just really is interesting to me. Yeah. Let me see what else you say. Okay. So, yeah. I'm just seeing if anything else comes out. Didn't mean to keep you all here. It's getting late, huh? So I got choke. Someone not speaking up. And woman. Woman. And not Felicia. And this card, lake. Body of water. So there you have it, folks. This time for real. I didn't pull out my tarot because I'll save that for the reading. But we'll see what's up. And I just really want to thank you all for being here with me today. You guys are so amazing with the comments. Thank you for giving your insights, your intuitive hits when you do. Also, we all have different takes on it, and we're all so respectful of one another in the comment section on different opinions and different takes. And it's also, important to not lose sight that we probably all want the same thing, which is for Felicia to be found or any of the disappearances, right? So when you keep that in mind, it makes it easier just to say, okay, we're in this for the sake of finding out that information. We might have a little discourse or disagreements on how things may have happened, or one psychic or intuitive or reader may pick up on one, the other, and we all want the one thing, which is for the missing to be found, for their name to not be forgotten. Readings are great. I do readings, but it's also what I love to do, but it's my way of giving back to say, okay, this is a missing person or something mysterious to this person. And we really need to raise awareness around that. And that is also what I don't lose sight of with doing Mystery Mystic Mondays and doing those types of videos, I should say. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I hope y'all, I'm like, they probably think I'm such a character. Like, it's just, I thank y'all for your beautiful energy. Yes, I'm glad you got to catch this live too. And for those who watched the replay, thank you for watching it. And I guess we'll do this again sometime on another case. Some of these cases warrant it, where we just pause for a moment and talk. Like I love Tip, how you were sharing what was intuitively coming up for you when you were doing the readings. And we just kind of get a chance to just kind of chat amongst each other about what has come up in the readings and reflect back. Because a lot of times there's important clues that came up in those readings, those earlier readings we did, that need to be circled back and looked at again. And there's learning. For those who are new to card reading or new to using their intuitive gifts, you can see how we're doing this, right? So it's a teachable moment as well. Educational, So anyways. Yes, I love the various insights. That's how I love Reddit for that, and web sleuths, and I see how they respectfully like go back and forth. Maybe not so much on Reddit, but web sleuths, like when they're digging in and researching about like disappearances or cases or things of that nature, they're super respectful, but they have differences of opinion, but it helps everybody to kind of understand things better. Gratitude to spirit. That's right. I mean, so your cases are always unfamiliar. I think it's great that you help to prevent these people from being forgotten. Exactly. That's why I throw in some courses. And I need to start going across the pond, I suppose, and looking at cases from the UK as well, and from Canada, and seeing what may be around the world. I did one out of Ireland. One case, Fiona's case. It's a cold case from 96. Yes, have a great day. Thank you. Thank you for rewatching. Good night. Much love to you all. Bye, guys.